This week, we continue our March of Dimes series, and our film this week really made me understand a lot about myself. Welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Welcome back, you dirty babies. It's time for another Half-Ass Movie Podcast, a show where we put together a half-ass theme as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Portress, and joining me today, he's not interested in your Del Taco experience. Sweet Sean's a Kovacs from the internet.
I think that my father poured the cement for your pool.
And he's the Target version of Ferris Bueller, Bruce Leslie.
Man, I really missed out growing up in a Walmart town.
This was a movie that all of a sudden I was just like, I didn't know what a Target was back in the day. That's
yeah,
tiny little town that we were growing up. We were just like, what is this? And it was funny that we'll talk about it. But
gentlemen, if I may clear the runway, gentlemen,
please.
The Target that they shoot this movie in is my local Target. It is literally my Target.
This was shot in Atlanta, this movie.
It was. I go to this Target. I was floored when I did a little bit of back matter on this thing. And I was like, no. And it literally is the
great.
Target I go to once a week. No joke.
How far do you live from the town where they filmed the rest of this stuff? Monroe, Georgia?
Monroe, Georgia is pretty far from here.
Okay.
About 45 minutes. But the Target is literally 10 minutes from my house.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week we got quite the humdinger for you. If you haven't checked the notes here and everything, this week we are talking Career Opportunities from 1991, starring Frank Whaley and Jennifer Connelly. But before we jump into that and everything, we do want to remind people that this is a live stream over on YouTube every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. We join the dirty babies in the chat. And guess what? We had Walt showing up even before the show was even happening. He was waiting out in the chat, sitting there just going, I got to be on time for this one. Thanks for hanging out there, Walt. We really appreciate it, buddy. And we appreciate all those people. We'll get to Walt and those other guys in just a second here. But do us a big, giant favor, man. Hit that like and subscribe button, certainly if you're watching live, and hit the hype button there as well if you're on mobile. It's right there underneath that thumbs up thing. So hit that, swipe over to the right, hit the hype button, boom. You're done. It's like a super like that other people can see out there. And we really appreciate all the people, man, that we continue to grow all the time. And it is awesome to see those numbers trending forward every single week. And we got new stuff always coming down the pipe. And we'll talk more about that as the show goes on here. But we want to thank everybody for coming out and appreciating the live show here, man. Awesome. And if you really enjoy this program, why don't you head on over to patreon.com/HMP. You get pre-show, post-show, Dinger Zone. This week's Dinger Zone, we are talking. I'm kind of excited about this one. I came up with this one. I felt like just like spur of the moment here and everything. Because we're hanging out here in Target, here in Career Opportunities, I was like, what would it be interesting if we had our top 5 places in movies that we'd like to kind of go and hang out, your retail establishments, things of that nature and stuff. So fictionalized places in movies. I think it's going to be a really interesting one. So we're going to be doing that right after this stream. So after the main stream is done, hang out here and check out with that Dinger Zone. And if you miss all of that, head on over to patreon.com/HMP. Join up at any level. And we really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. It's amazing. Well, let's get into it, boys and girls. My pick this week was Career Opportunities, and let's get into the IMDb plot line for Career Opportunities. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. Jim is the dorky son of a local cement contractor who lives at home and has no direction. Josie is the gorgeous daughter of a wealthy businessman who dreams of leaving town. They find they have a lot in common. That's a little clunky, but it's fine. We'll go with it. This is written by John Hughes. He wrote, that Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club, Uncle Buck, Weird Science, Home Alone, on and on and on. He keeps going. This is directed by Brian Gordon. He did mostly television after this and stuff. He did The Wonder Years, Freaks and Geeks, The West Wing, One Tree Hill, The Office, Weeds, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Party Down. He even did the Arnold Palmer 30 for 30, believe it or not. So,
nice.
I got in there, man. This is starring Frank Whaley, Jennifer Connelly, Dermot Mulroney, Kieran Mulroney, tough for me to say. William Forsythe, I can say that one easy though. And an uncredited cameo and appearance by John Candy.
Nice.
Man, oh man. Like I said, I mentioned this a while, probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but the first time that I ever heard about this movie, my dad came home one night and said, hey, we've got, I just rented a movie, Career Opportunities. And let me tell you, nothing made me and my brother go, I do not want to watch that more than the title of Career Opportunities. It sounded the worst. But little did I know that Dad had everything in store for us, because he knew, he's just like, listen, they're going to enjoy this. It is a fun. I don't know how he saw it. I never really talked to him about that, but maybe he saw it in the. It's 1991. There's no way he like left, 3 kids to go watch some dumbass Frank Whaley comedy in a movie theater. There's no way that happened. So I don't know how he came about this, but he brought it into my life. And let me tell you, though I haven't watched this movie on a very regular basis, going back and watching it this week, there is so much about myself that this movie has answered.
Oh, no.
I just feel like, oh wow, okay, all right. There's so many little bits of me and stuff, and like lines that I knew were from this movie that I still quote to this day. The Del Taco thing is constantly on a rotation of I don't care about your taco or Del Taco experience. I don't know why that line stuck with me. I didn't even know what a Del Taco was when I first heard that. But there was something about it that just rang true. And again, at that age, I don't know that William Forsythe is a person. Watching it now, I was just like, that's who was in that role. Yes. Unbelievable. And so just tip of the hat here early. I really enjoy this film, but we're going to talk a whole bunch about it. But that's just kind of my origin and how I came about this, because I don't like. I'd seen Jennifer Connelly, the subject of our March of Dimes this week here and everything. You'd seen her in like Labyrinth and a couple of other little things and stuff. But for whatever reason, didn't quite register. But this one registered. This one registered with a young Adam, and certainly threw me down a path, as it were.
Well, I'm going to confess that I saw this in the movie theater. I had my driver's license by the time this came out. And whenever I would be at my dad's house, he's out playing music every Friday and Saturday night. And I just had nothing else to do, but, he'd give me $10 to go to the movies, and I would drive to the mall and see whatever movie I hadn't seen. So I just kind of randomly went in to see this, and I had not remembered the title. So the whole time you were saying we were going to watch Career Opportunities, I thought it was a movie I hadn't seen. And even worse than that is when you said it was peak Jennifer Connelly, I almost said something that you guys would have thought was me trying to make a stupid joke. I almost said, I don't know, she's pretty hot in that Target movie. Rarely do I keep my mouth shut. And that's one time I'm glad I did, because you would not have believed me when I said it was accidental.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that feels like a dead Bruce Leslie kind of here, let me throw one across the plate.
Completely.
And my biggest takeaway when I saw it is that I thought Target must have paid to produce this. It really felt like introducing this new store, Target. Sean,
you'd seen this previously.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I'm a Gen Xer. Yes, of course I saw this movie. First of all, I like this movie. I like this movie quite a bit. It is a movie that, they don't like, it's just like beat for beat, like, oh, this is a John Hughes movie. It feels like a John Hughes movie. It behaves like a John Hughes movie. The problem that I have with this movie is the Frank Whaley character, and it has nothing to do with Frank Whaley, has nothing to do with the way that the character is written. As the weird kid who lied all the time from my hometown, let me tell you that the prettiest girl in school, when if she saw me out and about somewhere, if I just wave, she's going to pretend that she didn't see it. Like, that's just totally the way that's going to happen.
That's the best case scenario,
right? But
she pretends that she doesn't see. The worst case scenario, she looks you dead and gives you a gross kind of like, you're disgusting me. So you would be happy with she ignored me. Maybe she just didn't see. No.
It's not enough. It's not enough. Like I can't state this enough. It wouldn't have been enough for the prettiest girl in my high school to just like push me away, because I was so disgusting to her. I was literally like, it's not just that I'm weird and gangly and ugly at the time. It's also that I'm a liar and I'm a dirtbag and all of these things. And so to have all of these things, and I see it in this Frank Whaley character, because Frank Whaley's like, he's really laying it on thick, but I was the same way. Like when I was in high school, like I was the same way with stupid lies and shit like that, where after I would say the lie, I would literally be like, what? Why did I just what, like, who am I impressed? Everyone knows this didn't happen. Like I would think like that all the time. And so to see it again, just gave me that crippling feeling again, where I was like, oh God, I hate that kid so much, that poor kid. I just want to tell him it's all going to be okay. Stop lying.
I grew up with my first cousin really close. Like we were almost like siblings. And he was the biggest liar I've ever met. I think he still probably is, but I don't bother to fact check anymore. If it's a good story, I roll with it. He's the guy who told me he got in a sword fight with Glenn Danzig in Oklahoma.
Oh, nice.
like you do.
He
Nice.
told me that he went to the Kentucky Horse Park, which is this thing that we all go to when you grow up in Kentucky. But he went there and he says they let him ride Seattle Slew. Who's like a famous Derby winner. If you would have known his name if you were in that area. He told me he saw adults in a street fight finish it with a wrestling move.
Did a pile driver on him. It was great.
He kept me from being the biggest liar in high school because all I lied about were like, oh, I got this great girlfriend in West Virginia. There's no social media back then, so I rolled with that for like 7 years, I think.
Keep looking.
Yeah.
I never had a liar thing because I was almost too much with the truth, and then that was kind of the problem there.
Well,
but
the preacher's kid thing too. I mean,
yeah, but I was also like I was a bit of a schemer and a planner and stuff like that. So there was always something that was kind of going down, and I always had like a little project or something in the back pocket. We were always trying to do a little something, So I always had kind of a scheme. So that sort of vibe that I got. I was never really a person that had to deal with being a liar. Again, it was probably maybe you should shut up once in a while. It's just more of those. We're like, oh yeah, you're probably right.
Man, I'm kind of worried my cousin's going to see this now. He broke my arm when I was in the 7th grade.
Oh man, you got another one still sitting there that he can go after.
That means you got a fresh arm.
He's a big guy, man. I hope he doesn't come for me.
It'd be hilarious if like he just never took the cast off. Just a real grody arm.
Like Cactus Jack, or who was that?
It was Bob Orton, Cowboy Bob Orton.
That's right,
Yeah.
Cowboy Bob Orton.
Who did you think that would know to that? Come on, get real.
Well, that's why I know my audience portraits. Jesus, of course.
The same cousin who I was telling you was the fibber. He also took me to my first wrestling match, and Cowboy Bob Orton, Randy Savage, they were there because they used to have this outlaw wrestling thing in Eastern Kentucky. Well, it was in Lexington, but they did shows in Eastern Kentucky.
Well, that's one of the nice things about this movie is that it kind of gets out of that big city thing that you would always see, in John Hughes movies where you would have kind of like your Chicago or whatever. So this is still kind of like small town here and everything, which I think is a nice, fun departure for that kind of thing that he normally does. But yet we still have the very often present in John Hughes films, rich girl.
Yeah.
Rich girl with problems.
Well, the other thing that I just found off-putting, I really do like this movie. But the thing that I really found off-putting is why do so many people in this small Illinois town have a Southern accent? And it's not like a small drawl. It's full-on deep-fried Southern accent. I just found that so strange.
Is it supposed to be in Illinois?
Yes, it is.
When I saw Welcome to Monroe, I thought it was in Monroe, Georgia, where they filmed it. Because you don't put Barry Corbin in a Chicago suburb,
It is supposed to be Illinois, and it's just it was so strange to me that those two guys in the car, they are so Southern. The dad and the sheriff.
Yeah.
It's like we are laying it on thick. The only thing missing is Holly Hunter in the back of the car.
You're not wrong. It is very much that kind of vibe right there. Absolutely.
Yeah. The
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm so bad at stepping on toes, man. But the guy who played her dad, Jennifer Connelly's dad, I knew him because around this time I was a pretty big watcher of Northern Exposure. And he played like the really rich guy in Alaska in Northern Exposure. So I kind of clocked him right away for who he was. And I think the actor's like from Texas or somewhere.
They look at him and just go, you know what you look like? Old money. Get
I
in
know
here, old
him as
money.
the bad guy in The Last Boy Scout.
Ooh, another movie that I went and saw at the theater because I had nothing. I was being totally neglected on a weekend.
I had seen Career Opportunities, not in the theater, but I'd seen it on VHS. So it was kind of weird to watch it this week and to see it in like digitally, because the way I had always seen it is that you like, and it's not like I watched it a ton. I watched it like maybe twice, maybe, I don't even know. But the fact that it's not on a VHS tape and you can clearly see where everyone's favorite parts of the movie are, like there was none of that with this watching, and it was like, oh, so this is what this was supposed to look like. Okay.
I've seen this movie twice, once in the theater and then for this podcast, but I have thought about it many, many times. I mean, it really did strike a. It's the first time I'd ever seen Target, and it made like sleeping in a store seem so cool. I kind of wondered if maybe I should do that. Glad I didn't. It's probably highly illegal. But
No, yeah, when they're closed, you're probably best off not walking around.
There aren't a lot of movies that stick with me like that. And it's not just because of the coin operated pony stuff. I mean, like the whole thing stuck with me. I think I remembered it more fondly than I feel about it now, but I won't rush too far ahead.
Yeah. I mean, the town itself, I really do, like you were saying, Adam, I really do like the feel of the town. It does feel like a small town also, even though it's shooting in multiple places. I think that they do a really good job of capturing the size of the town. And if they do it right at the beginning of the movie with him talking to the kids on the park bench, or it's not even a park bench. It's on like the Main Street bench,
like a bus stop kind of thing.
Yeah.
Almost.
And they do a really good job of that. And, you couldn't have found 3 like cuter kids to be the kids that he's bragging to. And I just found it all so fun because it's just like, oh right, I forget that they would cast just regular kids in movies. Sometimes they weren't, like, well, I studied at Juilliard Junior and now I'm here. Like, it's not like that, like it is now.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at it, but the white kid with the glasses and everything, he's one of those kids that shows up in like a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm trying to figure out where exactly I remember him from, but I didn't look it up again. But he was one of those. I'm just like, oh yeah, that little kid's everywhere. It's like him and the other kid that's in like Kindergarten Cop and all those sorts of things. What's his face? We covered a movie his not too awful long ago, but there's some of those kid character actors that you see and you're just like, oh, that kid.
There's something on this watch, though, that's really, really depressing to me about this 20-year-old guy has to impress the kids. I think the first time that I watched it, it seemed cool. Everything seems cool when you're 17, 16, whatever. But watching it now, because I kind of knew some people like that growing up that they were just such losers among their peers that they had to try to get some, they had to try to impress the kids or whatever.
Well, if I may step in for a moment, as somebody who used to hang out with younger kids, because the kids my age could see right through my horse shit. That's what you do, is that when you are a liar all the time and no one believes your lies, you start hanging out with the people who will believe your lies. And so you hang out with younger people. And, at the time, like these days, I don't know how that works, but I know that at the time, nobody looked at me like, that guy's a pedo. Like, it was more like, oh, that guy has to hang out with those kids because it's the only people who will deal with him.
I have like a mental Benjamin Button. Like, I clearly don't look younger than I look the oldest I've ever looked, which is how it's supposed to be. But when I was a kid, I mostly enjoyed hanging out with adults. Like, I'd read the newspaper, talk about stuff. But as an adult now, man, I enjoy nothing more than hanging out with my kids and their friends and stuff like that. But I don't really like, anytime I'm lying to them, it's like, of course they know I'm lying. It's a joke. Like, I was the 3rd man on the moon or something like that.
Sure. My favorite type of child as an adult male now is the one who's way smarter than their age. I love that kid. I love that kid. My my daughter, who hates kids, like she absolutely despises children, like for real. It's not like a joke. Ha ha! Isn't this funny? She really does hate children. She came home a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think I found the type of child that I like. And I was like, oh, really? What kind? And she goes, little fancy boys. I love little fancy boys. And I was like bow tie fancy boy?
Yeah,
like, yes. And I was like, oh, that's a good kind of like. It's hard to find them, but yeah, that's a good kind of like. It was so funny.
I saw one of these guys once. This guy had kid couldn't have been more than 2. Dressed to the nines, this little kid. I looked at him and I just go, you remember when, it's like our parents just basically like, yeah, you got pants and a shirt on, you're good to go. I'm like, look at this kid, just dressed out. He looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they were just like, he's got shoes on. He's good.
I was like the 8-year-old who talked to his grandpa about Hubert Humphrey.
I was the one who actually sat in my in 8th grade. I sat with the teachers and talked with them during lunch. I didn't sit with the kids and stuff because I was that. But you're right. I'd rather because these kids felt like the kids that I substitute teach in middle school and stuff that would listen to whatever you say and would buy it. And so that's what makes these little kids believable and stuff like that, because you could lie to that age and they believe it still. And if you pull up enough thing, if you like go up to a limo or quote unquote limo and they pull you off, and then the kids will be impressed because they're just stupid little kids.
Next time I see a group of 6th graders, I'm going to tell them I had a sword fight with Glenn Danzig in Oklahoma and see if they buy it.
They're going to be like, who? So he's losing jobs left and right and everything. Thank God, though. So the opening scene where he's talking with the dogs and stuff, that was a reshoot. That they were kind of trying to figure stuff out and everything. And while it kind of gave that Ferris Bueller thing, we take it away by it not being kind of a fourth wall break. He's actually talking to the dogs there and whatnot. But a question for you fellas, why did he get fired from that job?
I'm imagining he had something to do that instead of doing it, he was talking to the dogs.
Maybe, but we don't really know. They just kind of fire him. As far as we can tell, he walks in and he sees him talking to these dogs and he just goes, that's it. You're fired.
Well,
something was clearly cut from the movie. You can clearly tell that something was cut. And I'm wondering why. What was so terrible that they had to cut that scene of him getting fired for doing something terrible? I think... you know what? It's enough that he is in his boxer shorts, but whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe he was doing more than talking to those dogs before we.
Who knows? But but didn't he have a uniform on? Maybe he changed uniform.
He had an apron and stuff on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He did. So gets fired. Dad's like, "Hey, man, you got to get a job. You're 23 years old, living in the house here and everything. You've got to get it going." But he's fine. He's fine with being home. And when asked later and everything, the reason he stays home is, the meals are good. About as bad as the excuses you could possibly give, I think.
The economy's so different because back then, an hourly job at Target, you could reasonably afford your own apartment and utilities without a roommate. So it's like that part gets lost because today I couldn't imagine anybody trying to kick their kid out because it's just so hard to even get started financially out there anymore.
Billionaires are ruining everything. Don't forget, billionaires are ruining everything. Let's keep going. I'm sorry, everyone.
You're also the reason we're on the internet right now. So it's like
yes. Take the billionaire's side, Adam Portrait.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
Get the fuck out of here with that horse shit.
What I'll say is the more accurate
both
thing,
sides have a good fuck that. Billionaires don't have a good point.
Sean, here's my argument. No billionaire wrote a single bit of code that's on the internet now.
Absolutely
they just
not.
Stole it from other people, bought it from other people, whatever.
All right.
They both there's good points to both. Fuck that shit. That is such horseshit, and you fucking know it.
Elon Musk.
Good Lord.
He's not a genius.
They've ruined this fucking country, for God's sake. I'm sorry.
This world, man.
I'm sorry. I'm done.
So Frank Whaley's got to get a job at Target.
Thank you.
And the Big John Candy cameo. This was the only time that John Hughes was on set, and the only time that fun was being had. No, that's not really true. But they were they were having fun at the time and stuff, but it was very much like, hey, John Candy's in here for a day, who was very game. He was not like, again, I'm so happy for that John Candy documentary that we saw a while back to really realize that, John Candy was a nice, easygoing guy, because before that documentary, I could have easily pictured him being an absolute monster for the day that he was there being drunk and all, but he was not that guy, which is, again, that's a really great sign. He might have been drinking. He might have been having a good time, but he wasn't the guy who was, ripping sets down or nothing like that, which was good. But he's got a great little scene there. A cool, Bruce, did you catch the split diopter scene a little bit there where he's on the phone and everything with the other guy and kind of split right down the middle? Great stuff from a first-time director, this guy. So he did a short film. I forget
the heterosexual male dance party or something like that.
Yeah, it's a hilarious idea. I've got to watch that at some point. It's like 20 minutes or something like that. But he just did that and then kind of just branched on into this after he'd done some writing and stuff. He'd done many comedy related things, so it seemed like this was going to be something good to go. But I tell you, for a first-time director, he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders.
He was also pretty close to a last-time director. I think he only made 2 other films, and I think part of
like I said, he made an unbelievable amount of televisions, though. So that's where he and if there's anything that about television directors, that's where you make your money right there. Just kind of like, oh, here's an episode here, here's an episode there, and those cats get paid for sure. Man.
Honest work. But Hughes kind of buried him on this. Hughes handpicked him for it, and then he just buried him after it came out. It wasn't very successful financially, and Hughes has disavowed the movie, said it's his least favorite movie, and
he wanted his name taken off of it. Yeah,
didn't he have something to do with the Beethoven movies, or am I wrong?
That was Chris Columbus.
Okay. Never mind then. I thought that John Hughes might have produced those, and it's like,
yeah, he might have had a little something.
If you
I
got
forget.
Beethoven on your resume, career opportunities isn't the one you need just to shoot yourself from. But I could be way off, man. I make more mistakes than I do things right.
Yeah, I don't know that Hughes really quite knew what he necessarily wanted with this, and I think that they kind of toyed around with a whole bunch of ideas. My guess is, and this is just complete conjecture, is that the studio wanted another Ferris Bueller. And he's just like, I can't give you a Ferris Bueller sequel here. I can give you something. And I've heard somebody say that this is also what's the Getting Married movie that John Hughes did? Whatever. There's another movie.
Baby?
She's having a baby. That's it. That's
okay.
it. That was another one about kind of people in their 20s trying to figure stuff out. And so this kind of falls into that category of John Hughes just before. So there's ones that kind of do your teenager stuff. There's ones that do a little bit more adult stuff. And this one's kind of that like right there in the middle sort of thing.
And
written by the way, I just looked it up. Beethoven is written by John Hughes as Edmond Dantes.
I thought that he had a connection to Beethoven, but it's one of those things that I was afraid to be too confident in, because you know how that usually goes.
He's one of the 2 co-writers of the movie.
There you go.
But the main character here, I just want to say my 2 cents on him. It's clear they wanted to capture the similar magic to Ferris Bueller, but to me, this main character is obnoxious. I mean, he's missing the charming, charismatic point of being a little stinker, as it were. This guy really, to me, comes across as maybe sociopathic or psychopathic or something. He's lying to a degree that's a little alarming to me.
He knows he's lying, though. Ferris, though, would lie and believe the lie, I believe.
It's also there's a self-hatred from this character. You're gonna have to roll with me on this one. There's a self-hatred from this character, which is why the lying continues, because he just hates who he is. He hates where he is. He hates his lot in life. He hates all of it. That's why he lies. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think that's the key difference, because Ferris is so self-confident, and that confidence makes his ne'er-do-well nature sort of charming. This guy totally lacks confidence, and maybe some of us are a little too afraid to relate to it. So you see him as obnoxious, or maybe, some of us who've been accused of being obnoxious kind of see ourselves in him there a little bit too. But I didn't enjoy the character.
I also, there's the big issue where, Matthew Broderick as Ferris Bueller is just the coolest human being in the world at the time. Like I know that seems impossible now in today's eyes, but he was so infinitely cool. And even at the time, Frank Whaley's character here, I don't think anyone's thinking that guy's cool.
He's definitely trying to go for a Rick Astley wardrobe, though. Every suit he wears is like 2 sizes too big, like he's wearing his dad's clothes, but serious Rick Astley vibe to him.
I love all the clothes choices and stuff. It's ridiculous. It's over the top, but it does feel exactly like what this character would do. I think all the choices feel like organic to what this character would do. Him just getting the limo to go to his first day of work. That's some dumb Adam bullshit right there. Which like it doesn't make any sense. Where it's just like this is really just a waste of money, and it's just like it's $50. What am I doing? It's no big whoop. I'll just look real good on my day. Like there's no reason for this. It's called you just wanted to be a fancy pants, you idiot.
I think the only reason I never went to the first day of a job in a limo is because I didn't know you could do that. But now that I know, I hope I never get a new job.
You don't want a new job?
No, I don't. But if I get one. Well, I'm going to try to make a first impression, and not just any limo. It's going to have like the neon lights or something on the inside.
Oh, he wants a party
clearly
bus.
a prom. Yeah, like the thing that you rent for your kids to go to prom.
Please call me Dr. Limo.
Did either of you guys ever sport the Superman curl that Whaley has going on here?
Not specifically a curl. That's there's too much effort that goes involved into a curl per se.
I have
Go ahead.
I have sort of a natural cowlick in that part of my hair, so the curl would show up naturally, and then I just put a little of the mousse or the hair gel or whatever, and I would go full on what he's got going here.
I was just gonna say I don't have enough of a widow's peak for that. Like, you need a bit of a widow's peak for that to happen. No, yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a widow's peak.
I look like a vampire at 6 years old. I always had that widow's peak.
He had to be invited into the daycare before he could go.
You know, I mean, it takes a widow's peak to have a pompadour that big. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't have the hair structure to do that.
It's too late, too wispy. I love the stupid conceit of this movie because we lay out all the stakes and stuff. They don't make sense. It's really dumb, but it doesn't really matter. It's called, we need to have an excuse to lock this guy in this thing, have him be the only character that's here. But I will say this though, William Forsythe just going off on that, like just his whole demeanor and everything. I've worked with so many people in retail that are exactly like that are just like, they'll be going off on these things of like, it's your first day of work and they'll start spitting out, like, I don't know anything. Why are you going as if I am this, trained veteran here? I don't know how any of these things work. And then just like, all right, we'll see you. Bye. And just that nightmare for me. And again, the fun point of him just kind of getting locked in there, and it's showing us again part of this character of, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm alone here. I'm scared of things. Please don't, because the character's fearful of facing actual reality here and everything. So that's another fun little point. But just it's obviously where you need to go from A to B to C here and everything. Totally works.
Man.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking about the fact that like we've all had that retail experience, especially when you're that age or younger, where there's like the orgy of information that happens. And that scene is done so well that again, it was one of those moments where I was like, damn it. This is really poking at moments of my life where I was like, man, I am not having a good time right now. And it's so weird because there's so much fun to be had once we get into the target of it all and Jennifer Connelly in there. Mm-hmm. Like it is a fun movie. It's just so the beginning of it is was very difficult for me to watch. And again, it has nothing to do with the movie itself. It's all what I'm bringing to the experience.
Oh yeah, no, believe me, I get that much for sure. So Jennifer Connelly plays kind of the rich girl in town here. The like you said before, the John Hughes staple of rich girl hates life, which is super great. But weird how the intro of her character, come on down, meet these guys. And then she just, full on kisses one dude and then shakes the hand of the other, which is hilarious for that guy to sit there and watch that goes going, oh, and then leading in for hey, it's my turn up. No,
Man,
no.
it's pretty creepy how badly he wanted that though, because it's just weird, man.
Hey,
It's
not
just
for
weird.
nothing, but he was standing online, and if she was giving out,
like the age, if the age difference alone wasn't enough to make you uncomfortable, the fact that her dad's standing right there. Ooh.
Well, at least we do find out that it is more of she's trying to really piss dad off and get kicked out of the house and stuff, as opposed to what it feels like ahead of time, which is it feels like he's setting it up for her to come in and hustle the job. But that's what it sets up and makes it seem like she's doing his bidding here by making out with this dude and whatnot. But that's not the case at all. She's trying to piss him off, which is better, because at least you don't have dad trying to whore out his daughter or anything like that, because that would be real bad.
Yeah,
but
man, it's creepy.
I think the scenario though was that those guys were there to ask him to do something, and he was saying no.
Yeah, which again wouldn't make sense for how it works. But again, you got to understand. So I feel like this guy understands enough about his daughter to be like, nope, not going to be inviting her into this scenario. I would think, but again, maybe she's just turning the bad girl leaf just right about now. I don't know.
I do like that she didn't feel the need to pluck her eyebrows. Like there's something cool about her little miniature unibrow. Like it communicates confidence, I guess is what I'd say. And I always like people that are confident.
Well, this was still, believe it or not, even though this thing came out in 1991, this was actually shot in 1989, believe it or not.
Crazy.
And we were still eyebrowing it up a little bit over there. We didn't quite care as much. We do, you either had them super big or super not there, and then just penciled right on. There's not a lot of in between there. It was bigger. It was all or nothing, baby. The all or nothing eyebrow days.
One thing that's eternal is tight clothes on hot chicks will never go out of style.
That's true. That is true.
And so, yeah, that's when we get to the point. So Frank is there overnight, and again, a great montage there of him doing all of this work and everything, and the great comedic effect of looking up and it's only 9:15. You've done all of this bull crap, and only 15 minutes of work have actually elapsed here. But again, this was something that, like, when I saw as a kid, I was just like, this was the kind of job that I wanted to have, this unsupervised job where they just kind of let you go and just be like, all right, we'll come back and we'll open this place up in the morning. You just kind of do all the things that you do. As long as you finish all the stuff, you're fine. I thought those were jobs that existed. Turns out, no.
One thing John Hughes has a record of, though, is some pretty serious time dilation. Like in one school day, you could not even come close to doing all the things that Ferris Bueller does. Also here, I don't think you could do all these things and then expect to have time to clean up by 7 a.m. This is at least a 14-hour party, not a 8-hour party.
Yeah, and today we would have like a post-credit thing where somebody walks in and just sees the ungodly mess there in the Target that was left. I don't know why we didn't have something like that.
One thing that even irked me, though, back in 1991 is they still have security cameras. It's not like you're going to get away with all this ridiculousness.
Yeah, we never really focus on any security camera or anything like that. But also, the thing I was surprised about looking back, because this movie is 1991, here we are in 2026, and Target is not that much changed. Like, you still look at this and it still looks like a Target. You don't go like, oh, what an ancient looking Target. That's what Target looked like 10 years ago. Like, it's changed a little bit, but like for the most part, by and large, that's what Targets still all look like.
Nowadays, they don't keep the microwaves plugged in like apparently they do at this Target. And I think they sold cigars and shotguns back then, because both of those make an appearance in this movie.
Hey, listen, Target had to, they're called Target, for crying out loud. You figured they ought to have guns, right? I mean, just name alone.
Was Dermot Mulroney, am I saying that right? Mulroney or Mulroney? Okay. Mulroney. Was he like already known at this point, or is this one of his very early roles?
He had done Enter the Void, right? That's the movie where they're trying to make a movie and he plays the DP, I think.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's I'll look it up. I could be totally 100% wrong on this. It's the first thing I ever saw him in, so of course I think that that's the first thing he did, but that
I
might
do
not
that
be
all
the
the
case
time.
at all.
I'm looking, it's going to say 2002. And it's like, wait a minute.
But
Him and his brother, the funny thing is like, so they're obviously, you know, Dermot is a couple years older and everything. And so their lives kind of, the way that they talk about it, sort of went on the same sort of path and everything. It's like one would do it and the other one would kind of follow right after. And so that kind of was it. He moved out to Hollywood, did a couple of things. Brother moved out, and they weren't quite kicking off just yet. Nothing really big or anything like that. They both actually had two different agents and went out for this role and everything. And Dermot read for the lead. He you know, that was his initial read and whatnot. It's a good thing he didn't, because I don't know that would have been the character for him or anything.
I'd like to see some Eric Stoltz style outtakes though.
He was, but like he's perfect for what he was doing there, and so like they pitched them differently. They didn't have the best of you know, readings and stuff. They were okay, but nothing wild and crazy. But then both of their agents kind of came back and like kind of gave them almost like a team offer, so to speak. That was like a really kind of, I don't know, it seemed fairly unprecedented that they would go and just be like, hey, we're two different people, but we want to give you both brothers. And for whatever reason, they found that stimulating enough to go, yeah, all right, well, we'll take a chance on that.
I always thought that his name was like a fake Hollywood name. Is that really like his government name, Dermot?
Sure.
I just didn't know, because it's such a weird name to me. I don't. Maybe it's regional. I just had never heard anybody named Dermot other than him.
So his first job was in 1986. It's a TV movie called Sin of Innocence. That's his first role. He also then does an episode of the TV show Fame. He's in a CBS school break special. But the one where he really starts blowing up is he's in Young Guns.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah, that would have been when I saw him first.
And he plays Dirty Steve Stevens.
Well, he looks dirty in this movie too, which is great. I love, like,
he nasty. Yeah,
they put all this choice together and stuff, and he even admits, he's just like, listen, I had a bit of a unibrow back then and everything. We just colored it in a little bit darker. Like, he even admits to, you know, all that fun stuff.
What's the name of the guy that made Buffalo 66?
Vincent Gallo.
That's what
he kind of has a Vincent Gallo vibe here.
He does. Now that you mention that, now that I'm thinking about, Scuzzy with the mustache there and everything, looks like he should probably be arrested. Yeah.
We're going to span some time. So I don't know how true this is, but looking at Dermot Mulroney's IMDb, it has him listed on soundtracks as a cellist.
Oh, I hope that's true, because he looks least like a cellist of any cellist I've ever met, which is like 7.
Like, he's listed as a cellist in Mission Impossible 3, like big movies.
What?
Yeah.
Like Mission Impossible.
Star Trek Into Darkness, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Tomorrowland, like Jurassic World. It can't be the same guy.
No. I couldn't buy a ticket fast enough if they said Dermot Mulroney and his cello is coming to Huntington.
He's doing a one-man show with his cello. He's coming in. He's the new Yo-Yo Ma, but tickets are much cheaper.
Yeah.
So him flying around through the target there and everything, sees. Yes, John?
Dermot Mulroney has been in over 70 films. Mulroney is a classically trained cellist who began playing in Alexandria, Virginia's public school system when he was 7. Come on, man. Doesn't this guy have enough? Jesus. And he's an accomplished cellist? Come on.
I would pay upwards of $300 just to go see him play cello now.
That's crazy.
There's a part in it where he throws away the thing and starts treating it like an upright bass and stuff. It's pretty wild. He's good about it. He's good at it.
Crazy. Like, that guy doesn't have enough. That also is like just musically phenomenal. Like, what? Come on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's like he's like the Bo Jackson of acting. You know, when you're athletic, you can be good at 2 things. And when you're an artist, I guess he had to decide between cello and Hollywood at some point, and he made the difficult decision.
Next thing we're
to
going to
do
find out,
both.
he's got
Yeah.
that Fassbender disease or something like that. I feel like that's.
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be-
that's the other thing, right? Like the next you're gonna feel that he's got a giant. Like, oh, you know what? I don't like bringing this up. I've got a giant crank.
Nah, you know, what do you do? You mean, what do you do? Shut up. We hate your guts. You just need to start, get worse at something.
Going down to San Diego to get one of those penis reduction surgeries because she didn't get a vagina enlargement.
My back's getting hurt. You know how it is. So we're stuck in this Target here and everything. He's doing all of his stuff. He sees her. And then again, yeah, sure. The idea itself stretches credulity. It certainly does. But, listen, I buy it well enough for the fairy tale story that it is,
Man,
this girl actually liking this dude.
$52,000 in her purse. I wouldn't have bothered to lock up. I would have just said, hey, let's go get a car and go wherever you want to go.
He is taking a lot of hope in her and everything that she was actually going to do what she said, and just kind of not just take off with these dudes in the middle of the night and everything, because that's certainly what I would have thought would have happened, like in an actual real world scenario here and everything. She'd be like, oh yeah, she'd take off with those dudes in 2 seconds for safety. Especially somebody who's before this, she was trying to get arrested. She was going like, hey, maybe I want to get arrested to really piss my dad off. Like, you've got 2 hardened criminals here and everything. Why would you not go off with those guys if that's the kind of, bad girl that you are?
I feel not proud of this fact, but it wasn't until the very end that I even made the connection that those were the 2 guys from the crime at the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah. And that was something else that they kind of had to juice in later, because you didn't realize that. No one had realized that, and they were to put the newspaper bit in there and just really kind of sink it in of like, oh, that's where all this connection ends up coming from. So you're not completely, out of left field with that comment.
I'm glad they did that, or else I would have just missed that aspect of the story.
It does feel really shoehorned in, though, doesn't it? Like, oh, hey, we've got this movie. There's this other thing happening way over here, and the reason being is that they needed an ending for their movie. Like, oh, okay, this is how we get him to Hollywood, and it does feel that way.
Yeah.
But speaking of improv things, one thing that was not in the script and was not planned was the pony ride with the little, throw a quarter in, and then the horse just kind of trots there a little bit and everything. Mm-hmm. The scene was there for them to all be sitting in the food court, eating stuff, trying to figure things out. But they were like, hold on, we have a horse.
See, when I grew up, they put them on the outside of the store.
Yeah, they were like, we weren't quite like they did, like half of that is kind of improv there and everything. No one was, set and ready for stuff, but really quite well blocked and put together, and just, I ran out. Does anyone have a quarter? And everyone just rushed into their pocket for another quarter and stuff. It's fantastic. Dermot trying to jump on, and that, according to him, that was a legit. I was trying to jump on the back of it. It's like, you ever sat on one of those things, man? Like, you're just gonna slip right off. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, all of that was improv. Like, oh, I'll just do all this stuff, and like, they clearly are having such a very, very fun time with this. She's selling it like nobody else, and again, but that's also a good thing that like she's using that to then get to these guys and stuff. It's not necessarily. It's not lurid for lurid's sake, so to speak. I guess. I don't know. Am I explaining that right?
I remembered this movie being way more gazy at girl, and it's not as like yowza boys. Like, it's not as much like that. Even Iron Man 2 has more of that. Like the camera's like going straight up Scarlett Johansson's butt. Like, there's not really, there is a little bit, but for what, like, I remembered it being way more like, like, I remember way more of that.
When she's lying on the floor, they do pick some interesting angles to shoot that
well,
from.
Sure.
How else are you going to shoot it, Bruce? Tell me how else you're going to shoot it.
If I knew a way, I wouldn't tell them, because I like what they did.
Yeah, and I gotta bring this up, right? So I'm not going to pretend that I saw this movie when I was a kid and wasn't like, oh my God, that is the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life, because at the time, I totally was like that. I absolutely was. I think I saw it twice. I might have. I don't remember anymore. And the reason why I would have seen it twice is not because of Frank Whaley. So, like, I know why I watched it twice. Watching the movie this week, Jennifer Connelly looks like a baby to me now.
Yes,
She looks like, don't get me wrong, an impossibly beautiful baby, but she does look like a baby in this movie to me now, because I've gotten too old to be able to leer at a 20-year-old Jennifer Connelly. I just don't have that speed anymore.
You could tell me she's 17 and I would believe it too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
She looks it.
For sure.
She totally looks it.
One thing I do remember, though, is this movie felt kind of scandalous because the only thing I knew Jennifer Connelly from was Labyrinth. And it's kind of like, oh, child star is going to, it's almost like the Showgirls thing with the girl from Saved by the Bell.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what you're bringing to the show, because she was also in Once Upon a Time in America, where she plays a very different character in that movie.
I have not seen that one.
Right. So let me describe it to you very quickly. Once Upon a Time in America is the longest movie ever made, and it's disappointing at the end. Come at me. That is literally what that movie is.
That was a dual VHS.
That thing is still running. It's no less than 3.5 hours long. Oh, it's crazy how long that is. And there's so many amazing performances. And there's like a 13-year-old, 12-year-old Jennifer Connelly in it. Maybe she's that old. She is young, and she's playing young in the movie. And she is not an innocent in that movie.
Kind of like some of those early Natalie Portman roles.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, actually. Yes. Very much like that.
Ultimately, I would say if I'm to go to my kind of like peak of where Jennifer Connelly's beauty lies, and again, we're all just being, this is the March of Dimes, being a little bit of
a couple of bros, we're just a bunch of bros hanging out talking about hot chicks. Bunch of bros talking about hot chicks.
But like the era that she was obviously the hottest was like your Requiem for a Dream Time. Obviously, you don't want to watch that movie because it's not a pretty movie. It's not, you're not enjoying the time with it, mind you. But like her age, like the age that she is at that particular time is the primo era. Is what
I know.
What such a courageous performance.
I'm not coming after you at all. What I'm remembering is that my friend at the time was staying over at our house because we were shooting a thing and he lived out of town, and so he's staying with us at our place. And I've got my wife at the time, she watched a lot of movies. And so he comes into the house and he literally texted me, came into the house right at the scene. You know what scene I mean?
Yep.
Right at the scene. And he literally texted me, "This is the most uncomfortable I have ever been in my entire life. Please save me." It was so funny, man.
So we get through. Listen, I love the little the back and forth that they have with the guys, conning them out of their guns and then getting reconned out of the guns again. There's just stupid little crap like that that's super fun, and there's bits like that and other just overarching things that goes. I just don't know why. I understand that it's not maybe up to his regular par, but this isn't bad, John Hughes. I don't think this isn't awful. It feels like some lesser John Hughes, but John Hughes nevertheless.
I've been saying this whole thing, I'm nitpicking here, but this is a fun movie, I mean, there's the shit that I brought to the table, but I think it's a fun movie to watch. There's just the amount of joy you get watching the two of them roller skate around Target. I mean, there's nothing more fun than that. It's great.
And they got to know, that's one of the reasons that this movie is as good as it is, I think, is that he's got a great DP on his hands here who's done a ton of stuff. And he just was one of those. This is better than any comedy deserves, this DP, because he is flying around. They did some stuff on skates and some stuff on dollies and stuff like that.
Great.
But they were really getting into it. And there are even if you count the early Foresight stuff, They are walking and talking these amazingly good tracking shots. It is astoundingly, when you sit there and actually watch the technique that's going on in here, you don't see it most of the time because it's so damn fluid that it just flows and you don't feel like it's there. But when you get to that, you're like, that was a whole walk and talk there that we did that entire scene in. Fantastically well done. And I think a lot of it is the cinematographer. And I will say the Kino 4K here looks fantastic. It looks so good. The 5.1 is a little strange in two parts where there's something that's going on in the background where he's like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense, but that's stream of consciousness. I'm sorry.
Did you watch this on Amazon, Sean?
I did.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty darn good transfer there. I mean, I enjoyed it.
It may even be the same one, to be honest.
Yeah,
They may be just kind of licensed it out and all that kind of good stuff. But the Kino looks good. Even the Blu-ray in there is off on the same new transfer and everything. So looks fantastic if you are a fan of this movie. Well, let's get down to it. Bruce, what is your rating and recommendation for Career Opportunities from 1991?
I think I clearly enjoyed this the least, but it's still got its moments. To me, the main character is just really obnoxious, and that made it tough to get into it. But I'm going to say that I'd still give it 30 cents.
That's a 3 out of
3 dimes.
Sean?
Yeah, it's a 3 for me as well. And again, I am sure that if you are not me, you enjoy this movie more. I felt a little Adam Portressy, to be honest with you, at the time, because Adam like suffers through movies a lot for things that the rest of the general public doesn't even notice.
Yeah.
And this is what happened to me watching the show. It was very much like, oh my God, I have so many stories that are so close to what's happening to this kid right now. Like, honest to God, if I would have made 2 different choices in my life, I would have been that kid in that situation. I absolutely would have. And so I'm very glad for the decisions that I made. Although it ends up okay. He's in Hollywood at the end.
Oh, I have a theory. And I haven't seen this anywhere else. I may just be pulling this out of my ass, but I love this as a fun little theory. They're dead. They get them in there. He says, to kill them. They kill them, and the rest is Frank's memory in heaven or something that's conjured together. Like, that's his last thoughts, is just the rest half of this movie where everything works out exactly the way that you want it to. But they could easily be dead, and you just be like, this is a whole fake ass ending.
That's a case of us doing the work for the writer, though. I don't think there is ever any thought of this movie being that kind of movie.
No, of course not. But
I mean, that's what we did all the time, though. You know that. I mean, you remember.
Of course. And I get called out for it. I felt good to be the caller outer for the first time.
I'll call her out on you. Yeah, that is it, everybody. We got another one here under the belt, but the March of Dimes will continue on with next week. And Bruce, what do you got for us, and why?
It's Barefoot in the Park. It's a movie that I watched many times as a youth. My mom liked movies, and I would watch movies with her. And it's a pretty darn sweet movie. And it's got peak Robert Redford and peak Jane Fonda. So you're getting double the dimes next week.
20 cents for the price of 10. Sure. Sean? So we'll be covering that next week here and everything. Until then, Sean, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
So I have a new YouTube channel called Sean Likes Spaceships, and the promo for the show is up on that YouTube channel. You can go YouTube/Sean Likes Spaceships, and it's a little 3-minute promo that I put together. The first episode is going to drop on March 20th, which is when Project Hail Mary comes out. I'm so looking forward to this movie. It's the movie I was looking forward to most this year coming out. Project Hail Mary is my favorite novel that I've read in like the last 10 years. It's written by Andy Weir, who also wrote The Martian, the novel The Martian. Yeah. And it is just... And the fact that Lord and Miller are directing, like, there's just so many things lining up where it's like, man, this thing is going to rip my heart out if it's bad. So, like, I'll talk about it if it's that. We'll see. We shall see.
I'll use your own line on you, Sean. You can't go wrong by building your expectations all the way up as high as they get.
You're not wrong.
I
You're
work
not
at the-
wrong, old me.
The paid for internet advertising has been glazing the movie, so I don't know. They've been like, hey, this is really good. I'm like, yeah, you are an ad for the movie, so I would imagine you would say that you're good.
We shall see. I do feel the need to apologize for getting out of hand earlier. I'm sorry about that. It's just that it was like, who takes the billionaire side in something? And it just hit me wrong at the time. And I'm sorry, Adam.
All right, that's all right.
Wasn't me.
I knew
No,
I was
it
going
wasn't
down
me.
an alley for half a second. It was my fault for peeking around the corner. But we will be back next week with more fun and adventures talking. What was it again there, Brucey?
Barefoot
Bruce.
Barefoot in the park.
Barefoot in the Park. Bruce, we need your recommendations. Do you have, are you, how
I
close
just
are you to your
Plug
stuff?
something.
I'll just tell folks I got a new movie review up on my YouTube channel at Anime Dad, and it is a movie called The Battery that was made for $6,000. And I wish you'd go watch that video so I can try and convince you to watch that movie.
Very nice. And I have a brand new video out called Fried Rice and Jackie Chan, where I make fried rice and I talk about Jackie Chan and I compare the two and talk about how they are kind of similar in many ways.
I saw it. Good job by you.
Thank you. More people need to see it. It's got a good like to watch ratio here and everything, but YouTube is just not punching it out to enough people. When you go and look at the impressions, you're like, I have 28,000 or I have almost 30. I have a buttload of subscribers. Why don't you feed it to them, YouTube? So please help that out by hitting that link and go and hitting the like and subscribe and all the hype button and all that. Do the same there for Sweet Shanzi and Bruce as well. All of those things, they're tiny, they're stupid, and they're whatever for whatever reason they help all. It helps. All of it matters.
Yeah.
So go check all that out. All the links for everything that we do are in the show notes. I even updated the Sean one so it goes to the correct thing and it's beautiful,
Oh,
baby.
thanks,
I
bud.
gotta tell you, I've never been more excited for a YouTube channel to land than yours, Sean. I've got myself pumped up for it.
Man, I thank you for saying that. I cannot state enough what an insane person I am with this thing. I'm the worst. I literally there's a moment that I caught on camera where I'm literally so mad at myself. I'm so mad at myself that I'm literally like, I do not know what I was like. I don't know what's worse. Me forgetting my lines or just constantly questioning myself. Like I'm so mad in the scene. I'm so mad at myself.
I spent hours doing some research on how to set my camera the way that I could get away from some stuff I didn't like from the Intelligent Auto or whatever, and got the lights just right, recorded this latest video, and then when I was sitting down to edit it, I had like a loose yarn from my beanie just like flapping all over
I
my
saw
forehead.
that, and it
I
was
didn't even
driving
know.
me bananas. I didn't want to say nothing.
Oh
'Cause
man, I worked so hard.
and I zoomed in and I was like, what is this?
And I did the whole video 3 times before I got what I was looking for, and then the daggum yarn.
Well, go check. So to check out that yard and so much more, all the links there are in the
That
show
was my
notes.
Superman curl. Was that yarn?
That will do it for this episode of Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Join us next week as we continue our March of Dime series with Barefoot in the Park featuring Robert Redford and Jane Fonda. Until then, for Sweet Sean's a Kovacs from the internet, Bruce Leslie, I'm Adam Porter, reminding you to get out there and watch the movies, you dirty babies.